Welcome to the Blk Storytellers. My name is Kevin Marable, and today we have someone who holds many talents. She's an author, she's a writer, an actor, a producer, as well as a director. You might have seen her in many films on Tubi, such as Knee Deep, the upcoming film Deeper, The Blacker the Berry, and another upcoming film, Fatal, and more, many more. We have Kendra Rainey King with us today. Kendra, how you doing?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. Doing great.
Awesome. So I like to start every interview with a very simple question, but some might find it a little difficult to answer. Are you ready?
hmm I'm
All right.
ready.
That question is, who is Kendra Rainey King?
Who is Kendra Rainey King? Kendra Rainey King is a mother, a wife. She is a daughter, a friend. Um, she is a mogul in the making, manifesting. Kendra Rainey King is a country bumpkin. She likes fishing. She loves fishing, hunting. She loves reading. She loves to write, of course. And she's very family oriented. Kendra Rainey King is a beacon and sweet soul that is a people person. Loves to have fun. Loves to smile, loves to dance, and loves life.
Well, that's awesome, man. Like you wrote your own autobiography right there. All right. That's awesome. I like that. So you are an author, a writer, an actor, executive producer, director, as I stated earlier. I would assume that at an early age you probably began with writing.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
okay, can you talk a little bit about the early days of your writing?
I sure can. I get excited about that. So I actually started writing when I was actually in elementary. When I started to read R.L. Stein, Goosebumps, Stephen King, and it kind of went from there. And I knew then that I wanted to write.
Mhm.
My sister, I have just one sister, and she taught me when I was young. She taught me when I was like 4 years old how to read. And it went from there to elementary, and I just kept reading a lot of books, and I always had to have a book no matter what.
Mhm.
So moving into high school, I went to the library one day, my freshman year. I didn't really like to be in the lunchroom. The school was so big, so I just started going to the library every day. And that's when I just started really reading the African American books. And it's like, oh, okay, the urban fiction books. I kind of got into Terry McMillan.
Yes.
And when it was what she wrote after that. Omar Tyree, Eric Jerome Dickey, Mary Monroe. She was one of my favorite guys. I don't like ugly guys. Still don't like ugly. Those are my favorite books. The Coldest Winter.
Mhm.
So once I started to read those books, I used to sit on the stairs in my apartments. We didn't have cable and stuff like that. So I sat on the stairs. Well, she couldn't afford it. So I
Mhm.
sat on the stairs and I just ingested everything that was going around me. And I just started writing one day and I was like, I wonder could I write a book? And I was just, just thinking about it. I never knew where I was going to go with it. And we couldn't afford a computer either. So it was one of those things where I got a binder, got 300 sheets of paper,
Wow.
put it in. I put the paper in the binder with the three dividers,
Mhm.
and I started writing every day. So from my junior year to my senior year, I finished a complete novel at 300 plus pages because I added more pages. And I literally still have the little nubbies on the side of my finger because I wrote so much. I
Mhm.
wrote so much. And I started from there. That first book was when I was a junior, and I finished it when I was a senior. And I just kept going from there. I mean, I had some hiccups to where I just was depressed, and it's like I don't want to write no more. But I finally found that niche, and it's like whenever I don't write, it's like breathing without air. I don't can't go without it almost.
Mm. Wow. That's amazing. Do you still have those notebooks, those binders?
I actually do. Not the second one, but the first one I do is in my garage.
Wow.
Tell you a little short story. So when I came back from college this summer, I was working at this call center. And at the call center, I was just sitting there one day and I was talking with this lady, just having a random conversation. And I told her I wrote a book. And she was like, "Oh, you did?" And she knew somebody. So we kind of hooked up, and the lady, she took everything that I had wrote, and at that point I had moved the book to notes because my mom, she went and got a computer. She believed in me so much she went to rent a center and she rented a computer for me. Her and my dad. Rest in peace to my mom and dad, by the way. So they got me a computer, and I didn't know anything about Microsoft Word then, and we couldn't afford then, it was like you got to have a password,
Right.
you remember back then.
Yeah.
So I had it on Notepad.
Mhm.
Okay, so this lady that introduced me to her friend was an agent for novels and things of that sort. She actually converted my everything I wrote on Notepad to Microsoft Word. I didn't know nothing about doing things like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like 2005, 2006. I was like, okay. So I got my first book through her, which was called A Bad Chick, which is now it's Chronicles of a Bad Bitch. I'm sorry, Chris, but that's the name of the
It's
book.
okay.
But she actually let's see, life lessons too, because she actually went, and after I was supposed to get my first check at like $8,000
Mm.
with my first book, she moved out the country. Never heard from her again. And that was part of my depressing stage. And it was a life learning stage too.
Mm.
Shut me down for a couple of years.
Mhm.
And one day while I was working again, home for the summer, I was just online and I saw Zane's company. She has an umbrella under her company.
Yeah.
And I sent my book. She loved it. And I became an affiliate under her umbrella. So, and that's where it started from there. And I started to learn the game. And after that, I went to two more publishers after that, and after that, I started publishing my own books.
Wow. So okay, so you started publishing your own books. Before
Mm-hmm.
before we get to the publishing side, because I feel like that piece is important too for the audience to understand. Um, if you don't mind, I would like to backtrack to when you said that the lady that helped you moved out of the country. Um, and so you still to this day you have not heard from her. Did she happen to leave with your money?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. She had sent me a picture and also some mail, and it let me know how much the checks were. And I was like, okay, I'm excited. Then I got an email. It was AOL days too. Got an
Yeah.
email, and she said that she was on her way to Germany. She was moving. She was getting a divorce, and I think she was having some issues with money. So yeah, and she said, "Well, because I did what I did for you, I'm sorry. The first check I'm going to have to take, and that was an $8,000 check."
Yeah,
So yeah, she took that. She took that. She
man.
took that whole check.
How old were you at that time? Because I know you were younger. So about what age were you at that point?
1920.
Man, yeah. Just that's sad that they people are out here taking advantage of young folks. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
ain't know no better. And that was gonna be. I was so excited. It was gonna be the first biggest check I ever had.
yeah, absolutely. Especially 19,
Yeah,
getting an $8,000 check off of words that you wrote, your ideas, your everything that you put on paper.
yeah.
Yeah, and then like you said, it's a life lesson. You kind of saw that taken from you, but you were able to bounce back. It took some time, but you were able to bounce back, and you got another deal. Um,
Hmm.
you were under a writing. You were under the Zane mentorship,
Yeah.
and yeah, things took off from there.
It sure did.
So let's talk a little bit about the publishing side real quick.
Okay.
Um, you formed your own publishing company after
Yes.
you went through several other publishing companies. You formed your own publishing company. How did you learn how to do that?
I learned how to do that by the affiliates of the umbrellas of the companies that I was under. Um, Instead of just sitting still and letting them do all the work, I asked, how do you do this? How do you do that? How did you do that? Because if you sit still and you let people do everything and not learn, you'll forever be in that same bucket. You
Yeah.
crab trying to get out of there, right?
Right.
Top is on there, you can't get out. So you have to set your mind up to, if this is something you want, you better learn how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You better learn how to do it because, I mean, I know agents, I know publishers are there for a reason, but
Mm-hmm.
in today's society, a lot of the things that they do, you can do for yourself. But you have to have the mindset for it. Now, if you don't, you just don't have the time, then okay. But if you can, deviate some of that percentage and keep something for you and you're doing most of the work, then
Yeah.
why not learn how to do it? I was doing most of the work for my affiliate. When I found out, okay, this and that, and okay, all I needed to do was learn this, learn how to, upload, learn how to draft my books, learn how to complete the era cinemats, like just learning how to branch out, learning how to do binding. Like when you learn how to do your own stuff, you can research, you can learn, you just have to have that mindset to, yeah, I want to do this. I want to learn how to do this because you can save yourself a lot of money and you can kind of cut that middleman out too. Because when
Absolutely.
you look at publishing, and especially if you're going like through distribution or if you're going through Amazon, things where you're self-publishing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
cut the middleman out. I mean, I'm not being funny, but you already have a percentage you have to intake from Amazon. Then there's going to be a percentage you got to intake from your publisher or the affiliate under that umbrella.
Mm.
That's a lot. What are you getting?
Yeah.
And
You're getting the last piece because they're
you
gonna get
get the last piece.
yeah
You get
because
the
they're gonna get
last.
yours first.
And then some people like me, I was putting my own money in my stuff. I'm doing ads on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm putting my own money into it. Why isn't the publishers doing that? So
Right.
it's just like if they don't believe in it like that, then what am I doing? What am I doing this for? I
Right.
believe in myself 100%. But if I'm under affiliate, publisher, or whatever, if their goal is not the same as my tenacity, then what are we doing?
Right. Okay. So once you got to the point to where you were publishing your own books,
Hmm.
uh, tell me how you transitioned from writing your novels to getting into screenwriting.
Okay, so it was 2020,
Mm.
right during COVID, but I actually I just shared this on my Facebook the other day too. It was a memory that came up, and I manifested.
Yeah.
When I write my books, my mama, she used to read every one of my books, and she'll always say, "Kendra, I'm reading this and I can see it."
Hmm.
She was like, "This could be a movie." My mama was the first one that said it, right? So she would read it to my daddy, and they would be fishing, and my mama would read my books to my daddy while we're fishing and stuff like that. And he was like, "Yeah, I like that. I can see it."
Hmm.
So it kind of put in my mind, okay, like y'all really think this could be a movie? Like
Right.
you really could? It's like, yeah, because when I write from personal experiences too. So, and it's just like, okay, so flashback to 2020. It was COVID. COVID just started.
Hmm.
My mom just died. I just was laid off from the school I was working at.
Hmm.
Literally 3 weeks after my mom died, my principal was at my mama's funeral. Then she let me go. Like, okay.
Same
All
same
right.
day.
Like literally two weeks later, after my mom's funeral. She spoke at my mom's funeral. So it was like it just hit me hard, right?
Wow.
And it was basically they laid me off, and I mean I was discouraged, depressed, and I was strolling on Facebook,
Mm.
and there was a guy named Coach John.
Hmm.
His name was Coach John Alexander. He was posting so much about bringing your book into a script, so flipping it from a script to I'm sorry, uh,
From a book to a
flipping it
screen.
from yeah.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, and I seen so many people comment and saying like, "Thanks, Coach Sean, you helped me. I never thought, just all the reviews." And I'm like, they
Yeah.
can't be lying. It's too many of them.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. So I got in his inbox. I asked him questions, and when he told me the amount, I'm like, shoot, it was expensive. I'm not gonna lie. And my last check that I got from being laid off,
Mm.
I said, Lord, I prayed on it. What you want me to do? I said I wanted to turn this novel into a movie. I didn't know where I was gonna go with it. All I knew was I just wanted to turn it. I didn't know the after effects, like who I'm gonna submit it to, none of that.
Mm.
But I prayed and I said, God, show me what I need to do. My last check, I was left with nothing but $20 after I paid him. I had $20 left, enough to give me and my kids a box of chicken. And
Mm.
I did it. I signed up for his class.
Wow.
And I ain't looked back since.
Yeah. No, I mean you put all your faith into your dream. You, like you said, you prayed on it and you manifested it. You, somewhere deep down inside you knew something was going to happen, and
Yeah,
you were going to fight for it, you know. And so that was you, you know, hoping that things would take place the way that you envisioned that they would, and it worked out for you.
it worked out for me. A year later, I learned, I went through the class. It was a master class too.
Mm.
So I had some moments where I kind of got stuck. I was grieving really bad. 'Cause my mom was my best friend.
Mm.
So I was stuck. And coach was just like, come on, Kendra, come on. You can do this. You got this. And he was such a positive person. And I got through it though. I got through that class. And
Wow.
a year later, one of my good friends here in Dallas, we were just talking, and she just was done with her movie Heavy, did really good here in Dallas,
Hmm.
and she was like, "Well, I can help you out. I can send your script to Maverick."
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
I was like, "You can?" Because I've been submitting to like 10 or 20 people. I was like, "Okay, coach, I don't know where else to go now."
Mhm.
And just that conversation, that networking, she sent it.
And the rest is history.
3 months later,
Yeah.
they emailed me. They loved it. They did not want to make any corrections to it.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we went from there.
So okay, so within that timeline, because you said it was 2020,
Mhm.
at the point that Maverick reached out and said that they loved it, how much time had passed?
From 2020, from when I graduated, it took me a couple of months to graduate that class.
Hmm.
So a whole year had passed.
Okay.
And I had been submitting. I've been submitting online and just, doing I had my query letters and things of that sort. So I was submitting. And so that year passed, and then submission 3 months to him, to Maverick. So 3 months. A year and 3 months.
Year and 3 months, man.
Hmm.
And you haven't looked back since. And so
No,
basically since 2021 until now we're at the beginning of 2024.
yeah,
Um, you have so many projects under your belt, um, as far as acting goes, as far as writing goes, as well as directing. You're still working on projects.
yeah,
Um, let's talk a little bit about some of those projects that you're involved in, and
love
whether
it.
that be acting, writing, directing. I would like for you to talk a little bit about some of these projects, but you have either written, directed, and or acted in. Um, uh, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second.
It's okay.
I jumped ahead. Sorry about that. Um, okay, so Knee Deep. That's the one that I'm familiar with, and you're working on the sequel. I believe you might have just wrapped on that, which is deeper. You're still working on it.
Still working on day 4. We're
Okay.
going into day 5 now.
Okay, gotcha. You have is a thicker to berry. Is that you?
That's my baby. I get excited about thinking of it. Yeah, thicker the berry, the sweeter the juice. It comes out July 16th, and I'm so excited. This one is it's a lot about my life, my experiences, self-love journey,
Mm.
um, picking the wrong man journey, finding self-love. It's a self-reflection movie.
Mm,
Everybody's character will show growth, and the poise, the what's needed for each infraction. So there's a life lesson in everybody's journey in Thick of the Berry.
wow.
Yeah,
And that stars Montreal Diggs. We talked to Montreal recently, and he
that's
said that
my
was
brother.
some of his best work is in Thick of the Berry.
Oh.
and this has nothing to do with TV and film, but he said that your cooking is amazing. He said that you can throw down for sure. So yeah, he said the cooking was amazing.
Oh,
Um,
that's my brother.
can you talk a little bit about? I know about Deeper, and I've also talked to Jamarcus about Knee Deep, but now we're into Deeper. Can you talk a little bit about what the sequel is going to be about?
Ooh, I can give y'all a little bit.
Yeah.
So, Deeper, in part two of Deeper, we get into chastity and where the heck God has been. So I
Hmm.
know people are wondering like what's going on. And we also shed light and give King a lot of backstory so we can understand what makes King this, this man like this. Why is he like this? Why is he this womanizer?
Hmm.
So this definitely opens up the doors for so much things. I mean, we introduce the Colombian aspect, going out the country, um, and Chastity actually delivering as the queen pen.
Hmm.
Got a lot of different aspects, so it's giving power vibes.
So in this one, without giving it away, and I don't really know too much about it, but so this is a question. This one, Chastity is more so front and center. Um, okay, I got you.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. We
that's dope.
get more of Chastity, more of you know who she has become,
Hmm.
her growth as a woman.
And you're currently in day 4 of filming this project. How
Yeah,
many days do you project that this is going to run?
10.
Okay, 10 days. And are you
Mhm.
filming it in Texas?
Yes, we are filming it in Dallas.
Okay.
The last 2 weekends we've been filming in Dallas.
Mm,
Hmm.
wow. Are you able to tell us a little bit more as to who is involved in this cast?
Absolutely. Of course, we have Honey Banks as Chastity,
Hmm.
A.D. Scott as King, Jamarcus Hartsfield as Gotti. We have Sophia Knowlton as Kilani. We have Daytwan Williams as, oh my goodness, Osana.
Hmm.
He is he learned some Spanish. Oh, let me tell you this too. My cats learned Spanish. I'm proud
Wow.
of them.
Yeah.
And we have Abe Lopez.
Yep.
Yeah. So we have
It was
Abe
dope.
Lopez.
Yeah.
He's dope.
Shout out to Jamarcus, Daytwan, Abe. Yeah, this sounds like it's gonna be an amazing project, man.
Oh, I had a brain fart. So Abe Lopez plays Fuego.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. And when do you project for this film to be released?
Christmas.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you already have a trajectory as to where you want it placed platform wise? Are you still going to go with Tubi, or are you looking to branch out to some other platforms?
So actually, all of my movies are actually branched off in different avenues. We have Peacock, Amazon Prime,
Mhm.
Tubi, and a lot of different other aspects too. I always forget all of them because there's so many, but we are on at least 7 to 8 different networks.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Now you've been cast as Mama Pat in an upcoming film called Fatal. Can you talk a little bit about your role as Mama Pat in Fatal?
Well, yes, darling, yes, yes. So for Mama Pat, I love the role. I think it was for me because I got to tap into who my mother was. I
Mm,
brought my mother's essence and her poise and her dialect into Mama Pat. because Mama Pat is a sweet Southern belle
Hmm.
when she don't play about her kids. So that's exactly who my mama was.
Right.
Yeah.
And are you guys is Fatal still filming, or is Fatal it wrapped? Okay.
Yeah. Fatal is rap. They had an all-star cast
Yeah,
too.
they did. They really did. When I saw the lineup, I was amazed at how many people were involved in that project, and it also spans Detroit, Texas, and Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So having three major areas come together, talent wise, and put together this project, it's going to be huge. Do you have any insight as to them knowing why they did that? Was I'm sure it was a obvious choice, but do you have any insight on that?
Well, it definitely was a collaboration. Brandon reached out to me, so I did what I could as far as my sector. He brought in from his sector in Atlanta and Detroit, and I brought him the Texas team. So I'm also an associate producer on Fatal as well. So shout out to Brandon Lee. He's out here doing his thing,
Yeah,
and I'm excited to be a part of the project. I know it's all about collaboration. So many things going on in the industry and in this world. Collaboration is what we need, not competition.
absolutely. And also on the independent side, with these collaborations,
Yeah.
it helps widen your range. It helps your viewership,
Hmm.
and just get your name out there a lot faster by doing so. And the strength is in numbers, so the more that everybody comes together and does this, the more of a powerhouse each of you will be. And you can come together and make even more projects, get bigger budgets, do things on a major scale.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do you have a timeline as to when Fatal will be out?
Well, I know Brandon Lee moves fast. So um I probably would say in the next couple of months with him. And
Okay.
I know that he's doing a premiere in Atlanta, Detroit, and Texas.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be dope, man.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be dope. I'm
Yeah,
ready. Can't wait.
yeah. Now you also play Malaysia in Distinguished Robbers.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your character in Distinguished Robbers, and who Malaysia is.
Well, Malaysia and Distinguished Robbers, she was a mess, but she was a sweet girl. She was a mother, so she was a mother of three children, and in Distinguished Robbers, we saw a lot of hurt and turmoil as she went through, her and her husband. They went through a lot as far as trying to see what they can do for their daughter, who needed a heart.
Mm.
So her main struggle was just, I think she was just full of emotions. The whole movie, she was full of emotion. So can't wait for part two, so you guys can really dig into who Malaysia is, because you just saw her sad a lot.
Right.
But part two, you're gonna kind of get into her character fully.
Okay, so there is a part two. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Absolutely.
Now you've received a bunch of accolades and nominations for your projects that you've written and directed for. Can you talk a little bit about some of the accolades that you've received?
Ooh, there's actually been a few. So for Knee Deep, we did win Best Drama at the Virginia Black Film Festival,
Yeah,
that we just came
congrats.
back from.
Yeah,
So
congratulations on that.
thank you, thank you. We also are finalists for Thicker the Beer, the Sweeter the Juice in a film festival in Berlin. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And we also just won as well for best film at a film festival in LA. It's an independent film festival, and we just won for that. Shout out to Montreal D because he don't even know this, but he won best actor.
Oh wow, wow! Who doesn't know yet?
So
We got the exclusive.
yeah, yeah. So I've been so busy, and I didn't even it's been like 2 days, and I ain't said anything yet. There's also another film festival that we won, and it's in Russia.
Oh wow.
And we won 5 different awards. We won Best Actor for Montreal, Best Actress for Sophia Knowlton, Best Actress for LaQuasha Harden, Best Actress for Nasu, Best Director for Draper Winston, and also Best Overall Film for us. So we got a lot of awards for those films. And Curves Under the Mistletoe actually won Best Feature as well for romance.
Wow. Wow. How does that make you feel when you receive all of these accolades and you see that your peers and people, even people outside of the country, are embracing your work? How does that make you feel?
It made me feel so good because so many people talk so much stuff, so much crap, and it's just like sometimes you sit down and you become a beacon of those sources and you let it infume you, and it's just like, oh goodness, I just strive to be better and better each film. And
Mhm.
I don't think people understand it's a difference when you're passionate versus you just wanting some money.
Yeah.
And I'm really passionate about my writing,
Mhm.
and it's like my baby. Only writers will understand this type of stuff. Like, it's just, there's no way to explain it. Like, it's my
Mhm.
heartbeat.
Yeah.
So I take it, I take it seriously.
Yeah. And I'm sure you're documenting everything along the way,
Yes.
trying to soak it all in as it's happening.
Getting a moment, trying to get a moment. Sometimes I don't have a moment to
Right.
celebrate myself. You
Right.
know, sometimes I just don't have a moment, and I'm just like, okay, I got to get me together so I can just sit down because I be so busy. But I got to celebrate me, and that's very important. Anybody listening, don't forget to celebrate yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to,
Yeah.
because life is short, and,
Mm-hmm.
and although you enjoy the ride and you enjoy the journey as it's going, but sometimes you do have to stop and smell the roses, as they say, and
Yeah.
and just take in what's been happening around you in the present moment.
Yeah.
You can also look back too and look ahead, but just give that thanks in the present moment, and
Yeah.
just look at everything that you've accomplished at that point in time, and you know that you have more goals to accomplish, but just say, man, look how far we've come.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's where I'm at now with it. And actually, I've been, for the past 4 movies, I'm on my fifth one now, but I've written 13 scripts and I've ghostwritten as well this year. So some of those number one movies you see on Tubi, you never know who it is. But it's just, I don't know. It's just it's a whole different entity. So oh, it's something else. It is.
What would you say is your ultimate goal, with your writing and also, um, directing and acting? What's your overall goal?
Um, I do know that this experience has been so rewarding.
Mhm.
Um, Me and my husband are actually, this is our first time. Actually, this is our debut of directing. We've been
Oh,
producing.
okay, producing.
So,
My
yeah,
fault. I apologize.
no, you're okay.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a humbling experience. It's beautiful. It's worth every tear.
Mhm.
It's worth everything that, you know, it's just worth it. It's worth it because if you sit and you wrote it and you are the one that get to see this baby manifest and work, like,
Right.
oh my God, I finally get to see my true vision,
Yeah.
and it's not taken from me. So it feels so rewarding. So my goal, my goal from now is to, whenever I'm not tired,
Mhm.
is to direct, and I want to, as I'm a manifest, I'm going to get a studio, so we won't have to have location issues any longer.
Right.
And just be the beacon and source where people can come and rent out, what's needed for them to film.
Yeah.
So I see that one day, and I see me making more movies. And as I move further out and I get to where I'm supposed to be, I see myself transitioning into Christian films,
Oh wow.
so I can, you know, stop running from my calling.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you believe that your calling is to switch
Yeah.
over to more of the
Yeah.
Christian slash positive, family
Yeah.
friendly oriented types of films. Um, what's Let me ask you this: well, what do you believe is necessarily stopping you today? Is it just that you want to build up a name and a brand first, and then
Yes.
okay,
Yes. Because it's kind of, I know the book world and the movie world are two different entities, but
hmm
when it comes to building your portfolio for the world, the fans, the readers, and the movie watchers are so fickle. You have to have, this certain type of fan base or watchers to move forward.
right,
You know,
yeah.
in
Uh,
the
I'm sorry. Were you
no,
saying
go ahead, go
okay?
ahead.
Um, do you already have projects that are written in that lane, or do you have ideas?
I
Um,
have one. I
okay,
have one. We must praise this Christmas. This one is going to be something very special. Yeah, Daytwan is going to be in this one,
okay,
and it's going to be something very different. Because I'm introducing a whole new secular to this meaning,
mhm,
and God is the way I'm writing this. He's telling me that I'm going to pull more people in to where they need to be by watching this film. And if I can save one person at a time, I'm doing my job and I'm doing the work.
yeah. At some point, are you interested in transitioning into traditional TV and film, or would you
Yeah.
much rather stay independent?
I'm definitely looking into traditional.
Okay.
I would definitely like to move forward and um, like widen that range of opportunities and possibilities.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you have any influences? I know you mentioned a lot of the writers from the books that you've read
Yeah.
younger, but do you have any current writer influences or people that you look up to in the business right now?
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. I have a brain for it right now.
No worries, no
But
worries.
she wrote Grey's Anatomy.
Shonda Rhimes.
Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely Shonda Rhimes. That's my she wrote.
yeah. No,
And
she can write a show for
she
sure.
sure can.
Yeah,
And the Mrs. Behind Power episodes.
right. Is that Courtney Kemp?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Court.
Courtney is a beast.
Yeah,
She's a beast. And I took one of Shonda Rhimes classes.
yeah,
Learned so much. So definitely a beaconing of sources.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I failed to ask this question earlier, but being that you did a lot of your reading and you began writing, did you ever take any, besides you mentioned Shonda Rhimes, did you take any type of formal training for writing, or did over time did you figure out how to construct a screenplay in the proper way, and do outlines and do the story structure, like the three story structure,
Mm.
or things of that nature?
So all of that was learned from Coach John. That master class that he taught, it
Sure.
was amazing. I knew nothing about script writing. I even before him, I bought this really big book from Amazon, the Teach You How to Screenwrite
Right.
book.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what was going on. So once I took that class with Coach John, he broke everything down. And then every year since then, I go back and I get a training. Like in case he done brought in some new structure, he did something, he added something every year. I make sure that I do like an intuitive. So I get with him. He'll actually make me hour training, and he'll send it to me, and I'll just kind of refresh my mind. I just did it a couple of months ago as well. And shout out to Coach John because he just left. He came from Virginia to Dallas to help
Oh,
us deeper. So
okay.
that's how much he believes in us.
What part of Virginia?
I don't know what part he's in. I think Virginia Beach. I
Okay,
think Virginia Beach.
okay. Virginia
Hmm.
Beach. That's more so Southern Virginia. I'm in Northern Virginia. Um,
Oh, okay.
so that's why I was curious to see how far he was from here. That's awesome. Awesome. Um, okay, so what would you say it has been your biggest reward thus far within your career?
My biggest reward is to see my book become a movie. It's, it's still humbling to me. I still freaking cry. Like, um, when you get to sit there and you get to watch people, when you get to watch people, recite the lines, the dialogue to your movie, and they do it and they ask questions. Do I do it this way? Is this okay? And it's just like some of them they find it intriguing because the writer usually isn't the one that they deal with on sets and things of that sort. They usually only deal with the director and things of that sort. So a
Mhm.
lot of times when I'm on set with the cast and crew, they are like always asking questions, and I always find it intriguing. It's never a dull moment. Like, it's beautiful when you sit there and you took your time and you wrote this film and you see your characters come to life.
Right.
It ain't nothing more beautiful. It's just like giving birth to a child to me.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's kind of amazing how it starts off in your imagination, and then
Hmm.
you put your imagination to paper, and then from paper to casting and getting people to want to play the characters that you've imagined in your mind all of this time and that you've taken the time to write down. And then you go to film it and you see all of those things come together as like one big orchestra of talent. And then once you see the final product, and you see it on screen for the first time, you're just like, that is amazing. That came from my imagination. And now it's something that's real in the world. And
Yeah,
it has tons of fans from all over the world that I've never seen or talked to ever in my life, but they're fans of my work.
that's right.
And how
That's
amazing
right.
is that, you know?
Freaking amazing.
It all stems from your imagination. That's the crazy part about it. And I don't think too many people think of how much it takes to put that type of effort into something
Yeah.
and actually see it through from beginning to end, and how much goes into that beginning to end
Hmm.
before we actually sit down in a theater or turn on the TV to watch it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
beautiful.
It's
It's
it is,
beautiful.
yeah. It's crazy how our minds can be that creative and want to be, want to be writers and want to be able to tell these stories and be able to give either a vivid imagination or be able to retell something that you've lived or somebody that you know has lived, uh,
Yeah.
and be able to showcase that in a light to where it actually impacts somebody and evokes emotion and brings it out of the actors, also. And it's like, especially if it's something that you've lived, and then the actors replaying it, it's almost like you're reliving it,
Yeah.
or that actor is taking on that role. It's crazy.
It is. It
Yeah,
is. It never ceased to amaze me.
yeah. So let me ask you, what's next for Kendra Rainey King?
Well, what's next is Queen's Trip and Gigolo, and possibly looking into Abe Lopez script.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So this is the script that Abe has written, and so now you're going to take on his project. Now, are you open to taking on other outside projects in the future? Is that what you're looking to do at some
Yeah.
point? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Rainy King Productions, we're looking into accepting scripts.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so, if somebody was to submit a script, or are you going to be looking for scripts in particular, and then go from there and kind of select one
Yeah.
based on, say like we're looking for rom coms now, or we're looking for horror, or we're looking for a drama or a thriller.
Hmm.
Is that how you're going to go about it, or is it just whatever script comes across your table that you find interesting? You might want to take that on.
Basically, that last one, what you said.
Good.
um, when they send it, well, when they send like the interest or the query letter, and we like the query letter with the synopsis, then we'll go from there. And I'll ask them to send over an NDA. And for anybody that's watching, don't just send your scripts out. Send an NDA before you send it out. Too many people are stealing people's scripts. So make sure that you send out your NDA, and then we'll go from there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. Well, I would love to talk to you more offline about that, because that's a part of what we're trying to do here with the Black Script, is provide a pipeline into the business, to where people who already submit their scripts can actually potentially get their script greenlit,
Okay.
or get it, ready for production, and then greenlit, and then have it actually produced and filmed and put onto a platform, a streaming platform, or several streaming platforms, but basically create a working model to where we can actually do something from beginning to end.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I would love to talk to you more about that. I've
Okay.
talked to other producers and directors, as well, but yeah, we're looking to build up a large resource of people that we can reach out to.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be
That's
dope, man.
great. That sounds great.
Well, Kendra, this is the part of the interview where I like to give my guests the final word, whether that be a piece of advice that was given to you, words of encouragement, or a quote that you like to live by. You can say all three, or you can choose one of the three. It's up to you.
um, I will give a word of advice.
Okay.
Okay. So when it comes to the industry, um, when you first come in, make sure that you stay diligent in who you are.
Mhm.
Trust in yourself, trust in the Lord, whatever you believe in, and just make sure that you come in not trying to gain friends. Come in on the aspect of business.
Mhm.
Business first. Business, business, business. Don't let nobody in your enter business. Keep everything professional and don't trust anybody. I mean that.
Amen. And you do. You have to be super protective of your stuff. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you have to. I hate to say it, but you do have to be leery as to who you're talking to and what their true intentions are. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people out there who do dirty business, or snakes
Yeah.
in the grass, or just looking for
Mm-hmm.
a come up. Um, and you have to be solid and firm in knowing this is what I want,
That's
and I'm not going to waver on this, because
that's right.
this is my baby.
Mm-hmm.
I created it. You want it. We have to talk.
That's right. That's right. And also I wanted to say, read your contracts.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're reading,
Mhm.
get your entertainment lawyer,
Mhm.
read your contracts, stay in line.
Mhm.
Number one, read your contracts and make sure you understand it.
Mhm.
I learned it hard, so make sure that you do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Kendra, it was a pleasure talking to you. I appreciate your time, your expertise, your knowledge, and just being open to sharing your journey with us. I truly, truly appreciate it.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. Thank you. We appreciate you out here too. Just to let you know, you are a beacon of light as well.
Man, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. That's it. Well, I will say this. Everybody that I've spoken to from Texas in particular has been nothing but genuine, um, you know, open and honest, willing
Yeah.
to share information. The way that you guys go about things, networking wise, you guys are
Yeah.
hustlers. You're
Mm-hmm.
serious about your business. You're serious about your craft. And just like I have told everybody else from your region, that I'm surprised that there is no real source for the pool of talent that is there. You guys
Yeah.
have to branch out, or obviously do it on the independent route. But you would think in
Hmm.
a major city like Dallas, or even just Texas in general, that there would be a huge hub for for these types of projects.
Yeah.
And there would be a lot of money and resources there, but apparently there is not. So
Yeah.
you have to build your own, you have to create
Hmm.
your own, which is a good thing because at the end of the day, you are building your own empire, really.
That's
Um,
right.
yeah,
That's
and so you don't have to necessarily fall in line underneath somebody else. You can kind of do it for yourself. But
hmm
yeah, I'm just surprised that there's nothing on the major scale that's already there. So we got to create the major scale that's out there.
yeah, and it's coming. I do believe it's coming. We have a big studio that is being built in
Mm.
Mansfield, Texas. So yeah, it's a lot of people from LA coming to move down here as well. So I do think it's coming.
Yeah, I think they see the potential, they see the land, they see the opportunity, and
Yeah.
they know there's talent out here. And
Hmm.
I think COVID kind of opened, not COVID, but the strikes kind of opened their eyes.
Yeah.
COVID did too, but the strikes kind of opened their eyes as to, oh wow, they're figuring it out how to do things without us. Maybe
Yeah.
we need to figure out how we can corner different markets, get in,
Hmm.
get certain land while it's cheap, do what we
Yeah.
need to do,
Hmm.
and make sure we secure this thing for the next 25 to 50 years or whatever the case may be.
That's right. And I would say that a lot of these Texas actors and actresses that they are very foregoing with what they want, and they're really stepping out. They don't just foresee Tubi being a Tubi quote unquote actor. Like they are really opening up that spectrum. They're
Yeah,
hungry. They want this.
yeah. You can
Yeah.
see it. You can see it. That's for sure.
Hmm.
So all I can say is just keep grinding, keep hustling, keep doing everything that you guys have been doing because
Thank
you
you.
are making an impact. People are seeing your work. It's not going unnoticed.
Thank you.
And if there's anything that I can do to help continue to shine light on Dallas, on you, Kendra, on
Yeah.
the actors that work with you, your entire cast and crew, I would be happy to help and be a part of that.
We would love it.
Yeah, to make things that much bigger and better, make it happen, because that's the key to this all is networking. And
That's right.
at the end of the day, it's all about who you know and what connections that either they have or they know who to rally up, so on and
Mm,
so forth. The more we come together and connect these dots, the better. So
that's right.
mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm in total agreement with you.
Well, Kendra Rainey King, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.